Okay, today in Algebra 2, our objective was to divide polynomials using long division. So our objective today is to divide polynomials using long division. So we're going to divide the same way we used to with numbers. So let's look at a problem that's just numbers. 939 divided by 51. To divide using long division, we put 51 on the outside, 939 on the inside, and we start dividing. When we divide 51 into 93. 51 goes into 93 one time, so I put the 1 up there. Then I multiply 1 times 51 and I get 51. Our next step is to subtract 93 minus 51, and you get 42. Then you bring down the 9, and you divide all over again. 51 into 429, and it ends up going in there 8 times. And then what I do is I do 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40, and we subtract again. 429 minus 408 is 21. Now we're going to stop there and we're going to write our answer as a fraction. So it's 18. We take the remainder of 21, we put it over what we divided by. So 18 and 21 over 15, or 51 I mean. We're going to use those same ideas, those same steps to do polynomials. Now if you were in class today, on Monday, the problems in your notes and the problems I'm going to do here are going to be different, so that you can see some that are a little bit different, so you can have more examples. So problem number 1, we're going to take 2x squared minus 5x minus 3, and we're going to divide by x minus 3. So we set it up the same way we did our number problem. X minus 3 goes on the outside, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 goes on the inside. Now, what I do is I look at x and 2x squared. What do I multiply x by to get 2x squared? Has to be 2x. Then I take this 2x and I distribute it. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 2x times x is 2x squared. So that's the same thing I did back up there with the numbers, but now with variables. Now I have to subtract, so I put parentheses and a minus sign. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either think about it as 2x squared minus 2x squared, negative 5x minus negative 6x. Or you can distribute this minus sign. So that really means that this is a negative 2x, and this is really a positive 6x. The way I tend to remember it is I change, change, change. Everything changes to the opposites. 2x squared, negative 2x squared, it cancels out. If it doesn't cancel out, you did something wrong. Then we have negative 5x plus 6x. Negative 5 plus 6 is 1x. Bring down the minus 3. Then I look at x and 1x. So I start all over. What do I multiply x by to get 1x? 1. I take that 1 and I distribute it. 1 times negative 3, negative 3. 1 times x, x. Put my minus sign in my parentheses, and you'll notice all of that cancels. There's no remainder left, so our answer is 2x plus 1. Okay, let's try another one, number 2. This time we're going to divide x plus 2 into x squared minus 3x minus 7. So we look at x and x squared. What do you do to x to get to x squared? You multiply by x. Then we distribute that x. X times 2 is 2x. X times x is x squared. Now we're subtracting all of that. So change that, change that, change that. So that you have negative 3x and negative 2x makes negative 5x. Bring down the minus 7. What do we multiply x by to get negative 5x? Has to be negative 5. Then we distribute again. Negative 5 times 2, negative 10. Negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Minus sign, parentheses. And again, it's either negative 5 minus negative 5 or change, change, change. X's will cancel. Negative 7 plus 10 comes out to be 3. Now there's nothing more to bring down, so we're done. So our answer gets written as x minus 5. This 3 is positive, so plus 3 over x plus 2. And there's our answer. So you divide, you write the remainder over what you divided by, and that's how you get your answer. So let's look at another one, number 3. Number 3, x plus 2 into x cubed minus 6x squared plus 1. Now I left a big space there because our problem didn't have an x in it. If there's no x, you have to put in a 0. If there's no x squared, you have to put in a 0. Whatever term is missing, you have to put a 0 for a placeholder. So we start with x and x cubed. What do you multiply x by to get x cubed? X squared. Distribute that x squared times 2 plus 2x squared. X squared times x, x cubed. Minus sign, parentheses. All of this stuff changes. Cancels. Negative 8x squared. Bring down the 0x and start dividing again. X times what is negative 8x squared? Has to be negative 8x. Distribute that. Negative 8x times 2 is negative 16x. Negative 8x times x is negative 8x squared. Parentheses and your minus sign. X squareds are going to cancel. 0 minus negative 16 comes out to be positive 16. Bring down the plus 1. What do we multiply x by to get 16x? Has to be 16. Distribute that 16. 16 times 2, 32. 16 times x, 16x. Minus sign in parentheses. 16x minus 16x goes away. 1 minus 32 is negative 31. Remember that is 1 minus 32. Has to be negative 31. You have to watch your signs there, so you have to make sure you're careful about that. Now there's nothing more to bring down, so we write our answer. So our answer this time gets written as x squared minus 8x plus 16, then minus 31 over x plus 2. Okay, so now let's look at a couple off of the notes from Monday. Let's look at, it's actually going to be problem number 3 from Monday's notes. Okay, problem number 3 from Monday's notes. So if you were in class, this is the actual problem from number 3 from your notes. If you weren't in class, hopefully you picked up your absent work and you have a copy of it. The problem was x cubed plus 2x minus 5 divided by x plus 4. Now when I look at x cubed plus 2x minus 5, I notice something's missing. The x squared term is missing. So that means we have to put in 0x squared when we do our dividing. So that it's going to look like this. X plus 4 into x cubed plus 0x squared plus 2x minus 5. You have to have that 0 in place there in order to get this problem correct. So then we started dividing. X into x cubed is x squared. Distribute that x squared to get 4x squared and x cubed. Subtract and put your parentheses. Change, change, change. Or think about it as an actual subtraction problem, whichever works better for you. X cubed goes away. 0 plus negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Bring down the 2x. X times what is negative 4x squared? Minus 4x. Negative 4x times 4 is negative 16x. Negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. Minus sign, parentheses, change, 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 or just think about it as a subtracting problem, whichever works better for you. 2x and 16x comes out to be 18x, either way. Because if you did 2 minus negative 16, that's still 18. Your calculator might come in handy for that section. Bring down the minus 5. X times what is 18x? 18. Distribute that 18. 18 times 4 is 72. 18 times x is 18x. 18 minus 18, cancel. Negative 5 minus negative 5 minus 72 comes out to be negative 77. There's nothing more to bring down, so we're done. So we write our answer as x squared minus 4x plus 18, then minus 77 over x plus 4. Your assignment for today is page 426, numbers 13 through 18. Okay.